The practice of life isn't about winning. It's about staying steady. The hardest part of life isn't making money, finding success, or being recognized. It's staying true to yourself amid all the noise and chaos of living. Every day, we wrestle with our emotions. From the moment we open our eyes, life starts testing us with 1,000 little things. The alarm didn't go off. Traffic's a mess. Your boss looks annoyed. Your friend seems distant. A family member complains without thinking. All these things whisper the same truth. The world won't always go your way. You work hard. You treat people sincerely. Yet life keeps reminding you. Even if you don't look for trouble, trouble finds you. Even if you don't want to get angry, emotions are always lurking in the shadows, waiting for their chance. And so you grow sensitive. You grow tired. A single sentence can ruin your whole day. One look can keep you awake all night. You realize you become a puppet of life, your happiness and peace hanging on someone else's words. If they praise you, you're thrilled. If they criticize you, you fall apart. If they misunderstand you, you can't sleep. That's how most people live. We're not tormented by the world itself, but by the way we react to it. We've handed other people the remote control to our emotions. A single comment or expression can control how we feel. But think about it. If your day, your happiness, your peace all depend on whether others understand you, like you, or respect you, then your life doesn't really belong to you. A mature life isn't about changing the world to make it gentler. It's about building the strength to stand firm, even when the world is stormy. To not be angered or disturbed by anyone or anything in life doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. It means being awake inside. It means staying calm when misunderstood, remaining steady when rejected, and holding on to yourself when everything around you feels out of control. The truly strong aren't those who defeat everyone else. They're the ones who win back their own hearts. So today, let's start here. Let's understand why we let others affect us, how we can stop being dragged around by our emotions, and how we can slowly cultivate that calm within. That state where no matter how loud the world gets, my heart stays still like water. Because the one who can stay steady is the one who truly holds the steering wheel of their life. The real reason you get angry has never been other people. Emotions aren't something others give you. They're something you create. Most people mistakenly believe that anger is caused by someone else. He insulted me. That's why I'm mad. She looked down on me. That's why I'm sad. But in truth, no one can put anger inside your body. That fire, you lit it yourself. Others can trigger you, but it's you who ignites. Why do certain words make you so angry? Why can a single comment set you off? It's because that comment hits a soft spot in your heart. Psychology calls this a psychological button, the part of you that hasn't yet healed. Others are only touching your wounds, but it's the wound that hurts, not the person. When you begin to realize, I'm not angry because of them, I'm angry because I care, because I'm attached, because I haven't let go, you start gaining the power to change. Anger is unmet expectation. Under every emotion lies an expectation. You expect to be understood, but you're misunderstood. You expect respect, but you're ignored. You expect life to stay in order, but it keeps being disrupted. And so you get angry, anxious, and hurt, but that's because you're trying to control what's beyond your control. You want people to get it. You want life to go smoothly, but reality rarely listens. That's when emotions explode. To truly stay unaffected, you must understand this. Others are not obligated to meet your expectations. They have their own perceptions, emotions, experiences, and limits. The only thing you can control is your reaction. Anger is often a mirror, a projection of the self. Many times, what you dislike in others is what you can't accept in yourself. You hate hypocrisy because you fear being seen through. You hate laziness because you, too, are avoiding something. You hate showing off because you also crave recognition. Others are mirrors, reflecting you back to yourself. When you learn to see yourself through others, anger turns into awareness, and awareness is where the soul begins to grow. Reaction is instinct. Response is cultivation. When someone offends you and you instantly strike back, that's reaction. When you pause, think, and then respond, that's maturity. Reaction is being driven by emotion. Response is steering it. Reaction breeds regret. Response breeds growth. When emotion rises, you can say, I'm feeling a bit angry right now. I need a moment. That sentence is far more powerful than a rash. What's your problem? When you master the power of pause, you control the situation instead of being controlled by it. Delayed reaction is the foundation of emotional intelligence. The more mature a person becomes, the slower they react because they know emotions are temporary, but consequences are lasting. When you learn to stay silent for 3 seconds in the heat of emotion, you can save countless relationships in those 3 seconds. Delaying reaction isn't suppression, it's giving reason a chance to show up. Because most of the time, things aren't as serious as they feel in the moment. Observing yourself from a distance is the evolution of the mind. Have you ever watched yourself after an outburst? You'll notice that the angry, crying, out of control version of you isn't the real you. It's just you being temporarily possessed by emotion. When you can observe your emotions from a third-person view, you're no longer drowning in them. You become like a director watching your own script. You see where your emotions start, how they unfold, and where they end, and at that moment, you've already transcended them. Most of what others do isn't really about you. When people lash out, complain, or blame, it's often not because of you, but because they're in pain. Those who hurt others are often the ones hurt by life first. A suppressed person uses aggression to vent. An insecure person uses control to mask fear. When you understand that, you stop taking other people's emotions so personally. See people from a higher perspective. When a child falls and cries, you don't argue, you gently help them up and say, it's okay, take your time. Adults are no different, they just wear thicker armor. When you replace judgment with understanding, the world softens. Not being affected isn't coldness, it's compassion. True compassion isn't pity. It's understanding that everyone carries their own burdens, karma, and blind spots. You stop asking, why do they treat me like this? And start realizing maybe they're in pain too. And then you forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. The root of anxiety is the desire to control. You get easily disturbed by life because you want to control everything. People's opinions, outcomes, relationships, the future. But the more you try to control, the more exhausted you become. As the saying goes, true strength isn't controlling everything. It's letting go of what doesn't need to be controlled. When you release your grip, life starts to flow. Letting things take their course isn't giving up. It's trusting. It's not laziness. It's faith that everything has its timing. You plant a seed not to dig it up every day and check if it's growing. You work hard not to obsess over the result. Life isn't something you grab. It's something you grow into. Learning to wait is deep wisdom. Living with impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. Emotions come and go. People meet and part. When you accept impermanence, you stop suffering over temporary losses. You move from possession to experience. You stop demanding perfection and start appreciating imperfection because that's what's real. Those who aren't easily disturbed have strong boundaries. They know what's their responsibility and what isn't. Other people's emotions aren't your fault. Other people's dissatisfaction isn't yours to fix. When you set boundaries, you gain the strength to love gently. Build a stable sense of self-worth. Why are you easily offended? Because you depend on others to define your value. When people criticize you, you crumble. When they praise you, you float. True confidence isn't external, it's internal. When you know who you are, you no longer need others to tell you your worth. Practice daily mindfulness. Sit quietly each morning for 3 minutes and tell yourself, whatever happens today, I can handle it calmly. Observe your breathing whenever emotion rises. Inhale, exhale, watch it instead of reacting. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each day. It shifts your brain from scarcity to abundance. Each night, reflect, what upset me today? Why? Was it really them or my own projection? These tiny habits, repeated daily, will change your entire aura. Calm wisdom is the highest power. True strength is gentleness. The world glorifies toughness and winning, but truly mature people understand softness. Softness isn't weakness, it's knowing the rise and fall of all things and no longer fighting them. That's inner stability. Calm is the gold refined from pain. Everyone who smiles through the storm has once been battered by it. But they learn not to let the world decide their inner weather. The more you experience, the more you understand how precious it is to stay unaffected. When the heart is still, everything around becomes still. When your heart holds light, the world's darkness can't invade you. When you're calm and patient, no one can shake you. You don't need to prove anything, because you're already at peace. True freedom is a mind undisturbed and emotions unshaken. Maturity isn't about how much you can endure. It's about whether you can stay kind and peaceful in any situation. When someone misunderstands you, you don't rush to explain. When someone looks down on you, you don't need to prove yourself. When someone denies you, you smile and walk away. Because you know everyone lives in their own world. What they see in you is only their projection. You can't control others, but you can choose not to be controlled. You can't stop the wind from blowing, but you can learn to breathe in the wind. That's the state of a still mind and calm emotions. You stop chasing a perfect world and instead face an imperfect one with a steady heart. You stop craving to be understood because you've already understood yourself. When your heart quiets, the world's noise naturally fades into the background. You start cherishing silence, cherishing unhurried days. You learn to feel content sipping tea alone. You no longer need noise or proof. You just stay true to your own rhythm. Slowly, you become softer yet stronger, calmer yet more powerful. You smile more because you know nothing can truly disturb you. When the wind blows, you watch it. When the rain falls, you listen. Everything remains the same, and so do you. This is the ultimate state of being undisturbed by life. Not escaping the world, but embracing it. Not rejecting emotions, but accepting them. Not eliminating the waves, but learning to stay still within them. The most beautiful practice in life isn't gaining more. It's losing the ability to be angered. When you can stay calm in chaos, focused amid confusion, and gentle in the face of hostility, then you are truly free. This piece isn't about becoming indifferent, nor about running away from emotions. It's about how a person in the vast current of life can cultivate a heart that is truly free, awake, gentle, and strong. From understanding the root of anger to mastering emotional control, from understanding others to building inner stability, and finally to letting go of control and making peace with the world, each section feels like a peeling of the soul, layer by layer, taking us from being ruled by emotion to becoming the ruler of ourselves. The greatest freedom in life is having an undisturbed mind. In daily life, we're too easily swept away by emotion. A word, a tone, a glance from someone can send our mood soaring or sinking. We often think it's others who make us angry. In truth, it's we who allow ourselves to be provoked. True awakening is realizing that others are only triggers, while emotions are our internal responses. Whenever we blame the outside world for our pain, we're giving away our power. Because as long as the source of your suffering lies in others, you can never truly be at peace. Only when you begin to admit, my emotions are my responsibility, do you truly begin to take charge of your life. That's the core message of this whole piece. Every external disturbance is just an echo of an unsettled heart. The shift from reaction to response marks the dividing line of maturity. Often, it's not events that defeat us, but our unconscious reactions to them. Someone criticizes you. You rush to defend yourself. Someone grows distant. You start doubting yourself. Something goes wrong. You get anxious, frustrated, angry. That's reaction, an automatic movement of emotion. But growth means learning to move from reaction to response. Response means pause, awareness, and deliberate choice. When you can, in the middle of chaos, tell yourself, wait, you've already mastered one of life's rarest skills, the ability to delay reaction. And delayed reaction is more than emotional management, it's life wisdom. It lets you stay calm in impulse, maintain dignity when misunderstood, and preserve your freedom to choose your attitude in the midst of confusion. This is what it means to move from being a slave to emotion to being its master. Understanding others is the beginning of healing yourself. When we're angry, we often feel personally attacked. But most of the time, others are simply trapped in their own emotions. Their coldness might come from exhaustion, their aggression from insecurity, their sarcasm from self-protection. When you understand this, anger turns into understanding, and hostility turns into compassion. You no longer rush to strike back because you know that those who lash out are often the ones in pain. Understanding others doesn't mean excusing them. It means freeing yourself. When you can see the limits of others, your heart grows wide. And when your heart is wide enough, no wind can get in. Letting go of control and embracing uncertainty is another kind of wisdom. We often feel anxious because we want too much control. We want everyone to understand us, like us, and act according to our expectations. But the truth is, the world will never follow our script. When people don't act as we wish, we get angry. When things don't go as planned, we get anxious. The more control you crave, the more pain you create. True peace doesn't come from having everything go your way. It comes from being at ease, even when it doesn't. When you stop trying to control life, you begin to cooperate with it. You start to understand the wind comes to teach you balance. The rain falls to wash away the dust. Life won't always be gentle, but it's always honest. In its own way, it keeps reminding us, learn to accept, not resist. Inner strength comes from conscious gentleness. A truly strong person isn't cold or unfeeling, but gentle without being ruled by emotion. They can understand others without losing boundaries. They can feel pain without being consumed by it. Their gentleness has edges. Their calm is the calm after storms. They understand that while they can't control everything, they can always control how they face everything. That kind of strength comes from deep clarity, from an attitude that says, I know everything is impermanent, and yet I choose to remain kind. That is the peak of growth and the essence of peace. Peace is not avoidance, it's transcendence. Many people think peace means not caring about anything. Not so. True peace is seeing everything clearly, yet remaining still inside. You don't become indifferent, you become deeper. You can see others' emotions, the world's unfairness, the twists of fate, yet you no longer resist with anger, but transform it with understanding. That isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Because you know emotion doesn't solve problems, calm does. Those who are truly peaceful appear quiet, but are steady as mountains. They don't need to prove themselves or argue with the world. Their silence changes the direction of energy. This is the highest form of resistance, not being disturbed, not being provoked, not being defeated. Only by making peace with the world can you make peace with yourself. In the second half of life, what matters most isn't skill, it's mindset. Can you let go? Can you forgive? Can you smile even when you're misunderstood? When you stop demanding a perfect world, it stops disappointing you so much. When you stop expecting others to stay the same, you stop being shattered by change or misunderstanding. Because you understand everyone lives in their own way. Every relationship has its time. Every event has its meaning. Life isn't wrong. It's just teaching you how to stay whole in an imperfect world. The final awakening. True strength is an unshaken heart. Unshaken doesn't mean heartless. It means having a heart strong enough not to drift with the current. When your heart is steady, the world steadies with it. When you can control yourself, every storm becomes just scenery. You realize it's no longer you fighting life. It's life dancing with you. That freedom is priceless. That calm is earned through a lifetime of practice. To master emotion is to master the essence of life itself. Emotions are our truest teachers. They reveal the attachments, fears, and dependencies we haven't yet released. Every moment of anger, hurt, or disappointment is life handing you a lesson. If you're constantly shaken by the outside world, it means you're still letting others define your worth. But when you learn to steady yourself, you'll see that many things that once drove you crazy were never worth it. Sometimes maturity isn't about finding all the answers. It's about learning not to rush to respond. It's not about making the world quiet. It's about quieting yourself. When you finally grow still, you'll hear what life has been whispering all along. In the wind, it says, let go. In the rain, it says, grow. In the noise, it says, be still. Eventually, you'll understand true happiness isn't the absence of trouble, but the ability to stay serene despite it. May we all cultivate that kind of strength, to remain undisturbed by anyone, unshaken by emotion, steady within ourselves, and gentle in our steps. In this restless world, may you live quietly, yet shine with your own light.